Hello, everybody. I was going to say good evening, but I'm pretty sure most of you watch this in the morning or the afternoon or some unsociable hour. So anyway, I'm joined again by the wonderful Stephen Wright. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm okay, mate. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. Looking forward to a bumper program of fixtures today. 4 Swedish Cup games for those teams in Division 2 that are still in the competition, and a full program of games in Division 1 with the teams in Norway. I hope you've all got your replica shirts on of your favourite teams. I know I've got my purple on to represent Stackington. But, could be East Coast in the first division, maybe. Although I am partial to a good Badger now and then. And Steve, I know they're not playing today, but you've got your Danglies kit on, haven't you?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, mate. They're certainly my team to support, other than my own. Can't wait for the first day that he does get a result, and I'm sure it'll be a screaming front rooftops when he does.
Oh, yes, it'll be a grand moment. We have got these 4 games for you then. We've got Konga versus Radaby, Yunby and 76ers, Lunds, who beat the Danglies in the previous round against Stackington, and Runinger versus Los Uracas. And we head into those games. Radaby, starting with you today then, Steve. And you've gone for a few changes today.
Yeah, well, obviously it's a midweek cup game. Team should be far more than strong enough to get the job done. So I've rotated the all 11 and just see how we go. I've made a couple of changes to our do subs as well, as you know, and we'll just see if we can get a result here.
Yeah, it's still a strong team. It shows the strength in depth and utilises a few players in alternative positions. Dede a little bit further forward and Duff more central than usual. It's a good lineup, and Maldini captaining the team. You've got the influence. Maybe a subs bench is pretty much as strong as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I were a bit where I needed subs on, but if any positions do get injuries in terms of centre midfield, which I don't like doing with him, or striker or AMC, David Collins will come on. I'll try and save the other 4 for the next coming game.
That's it. It is a cup game, and it's worth remembering these are non-league. And last time you came through pretty comfortably. So we kick off this game, first one of the day, and immediately on the attack, Rieri's had a chance already. But 10 minutes in, another chance, 3 chances and a goal on 10 minutes, and Tomadera gets that one. It settles the nerves. Yes, happy birthday, Tomadera, indeed. Yes, is it 42 today, I think?
Yeah, I think that's what I think I saw Rock's tweet out earlier, and he's been scoring for him on his stream that he's doing at the minute as well. So he's certainly having a very happy birthday.
Indeed, yeah, taking the lead there. 1-1, unbelievable. all the Tomadera talk, taking the attention away from the fact that Konga are back in the game just before half time. Nicky Franco tried to rectify that, but they go in level at the break. Dustin Hoffman with the goal.
Yeah, I knew that we're going to be one on target, but pull Toldo there for that.
Is he going to come off now?
Yeah.
He comes off. Oh, Anders Hoffman. Not quite the same one. Yeah, a 5 there for Toldo. Looking into your team, Vieri's taking a bit of a not there. So Toldo off for Oliver Kahn.
Indeed.
Anything else for you?
No, that's all right. I'm going to run. I said to you earlier, I'm going to run them into the ground because they're probably not going to play next game anyway, and they should be at least winning this game, if not conceding. So
that's it. So yeah, if you want to call a 60-minute sub, just do so a couple of minutes before, and I'll get that on for you. Okay, second half starts with immediately chances for Connor Heller coming forward. And they are looking, it's a sensational goal. It's 2-1 to Connor Heller. What the Connor Heller is going on?
Oh, God.
I will just check into that. Are you taking a look there? Are you keeping it as it is still, or making that change?
No, we'll just bring Collins on for Vieira and swap him when he can, if that's okay.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Put a little arrow on him. Maybe being a bit neglectful of arrows.
Well, maybe this will turn it around. David Collins coming on.
But as it stands at the minute, this is more embarrassing than Dangley's one, if I'm honest.
It maybe just shows that the Dangley's one wasn't actually that bad a result. That the non-league sides have a bit of strength about them. But,
I may have been a bit naive in my reaction to it.
It's a goal for Nikiforenko. He makes it 2-2, and David Collins turns it around just a couple of minutes later. It spares the blushes somewhat. And in the end, it's been an absolute classic for a cup game. Chances for Conor Heller towards the end, and he scraped through there, Steve. Just tell us what you think there.
Well, 2 shots on target, 2 goals. I'd have been a bit more infuriated if it were 2 shots on target, 2 goals, or 2 shots on goal, sorry, 2 target. Yeah, that's terrible, especially for the amounts of, considering we've scraped past the non-league side, the amounts of 8s and 9s there is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, a few players actually coming out of the game with some credibility, but certainly the back line, Maldini, the only real performer there. Conor Heller do a decent job. Jethro Jackson, a fantastic name there. I believe he is a half English player. Yes, he is. But yeah, through there, outdone on possession by the non-league side. But I won't say too much because here we go with Stackington Colliery's match. And we made 11 changes for today, going for 2 very attacking fullbacks in Baumer and Agat, Kamuna and Milevski in defence there with the attacking 3. Dr. Kamalo back in as captain for this game. Paulo Sergio given another chance in the lineup. And so I don't think it is a full 11 change. I think it's 10. Song Jong-guk called in, and 2 untried strikers for me. I've only ever brought Javan on as a substitute once in my entire life. And Yahya, his complete debut for me. But watch out for Tommy Mutton off the bench potentially later on. You got much experience with some of these players, Steve?
Well, obviously, Mason Javan from being introduced to him by Rocks, it can be an absolute phenomenon, and I'm backing him here to get a minimum of 1, possibly 2 or 3 goals. Basically, your back 4 is extremely strong, in my opinion. Kamuna puts absolute numbers in. Milevski's just done an unreal job for me. 37 completed passes out of 42, 9 tackles, 1 out of 13. So he's always going to be an absolute beast there. Never a Paulo Sergio, just sort of whittled about. I've been told about Dr. Kamolo because of you. I still haven't signed him. And Yahya is not somebody I am familiar with in the slightest.
No, never used him before at all. It's just certainly something a little bit different for this league. And Costanzo in goal, of course.
Should be too strong. Should. And I should have been far too strong, let alone just too strong. So I apologise if I...
can't give Kamuna number 1 shirt, can we?
Kamuna with the number 1.
He is certainly the number 1 they all wanted. Song Jong-guk at 22, Yahya the 18, Mutton 24, and Baumer 21. There we go. Okay, Morgan Norman refereeing. Wonderful name.
I like the colours of both teams there.
I think they do. They complement each other quite well. Absolutely. Hopefully, Stackington will complement this game with some goals. Dr. Kamalo with the opening goal inside the first 10 minutes justifies his signing if he never does anything again.
The man himself.
He's a born leader. And it's 2-0, it's Javan. There's your prediction coming true. I mean, if I'm going to make a prediction, Kamuna's going to score a free kick. Just the odds must be pretty high on that one. When he's not set to set pieces either.
John Cook doing a good job at the minute. Well, we're on an 8 a second ago. He's
Yeah,
playing well.
back to the 8 again. Lots of passing going on, and a goal there for Christian Selness, who is enjoying being Swedish rather than nothing. It's a comfortable first half. It makes it makes the 5-0 defeat the other day seem that a little bit easier to swallow when the team can actually play some football for once. We head straight into the second half after looking at a quick check there. Nothing going on for Lunds. Yeah, they used all their energy for the Danglies game, but plenty of shots off target. Plenty off target. Domination in the action areas and just taking the possession a little bit with 7s and 8s all around. It's not spectacular, but it's decent.
Yeah, very solid. I think the one thing is that worries me about this, if you have a lot of chances and not many on target, is with there being no individual player instructions and not putting certain players, 2 or 3 players on long shots that are just going to fight from anywhere. When you've got a lot off target like that, it sort of starts making you think what your players are doing and what the base formation is making them do without looking at. I haven't looked at any of the playing instructions myself, but there will be a couple on. But you can't see there being 3 or 4 of them on long shots from that, can you? So, well, it shows you're creating enough.
Yeah.
I fancy to go on to hammer them in second half because it never happens. But 5 top side. A definite 4th, possibly 5, and I think that's where we'll finish up.
Yeah, I'd be happy with 5 going into this second half. There will be changes on 60 minutes just to freshen the team up a little bit. We couldn't expect to see Tommy Mutton coming on.
I got jumping between a 8 and a 9. He's had a very good game.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looking like the good attacking player there. We gonna see the introduction here of Romoshenko coming on, which will push Selness into a more attacking position. And the other substitute there, Javan, he's got his goal. And Tommy Mutton will... Oh, we've got an injury to Selness. So, in fact, there will be an extra substitute there of Mikhail Sylvestre coming on and Baumer going forward. So, yeah, 3 changes. Can Mutton get a goal, or will he be sheepish in front of the target?
Good position for Baumer, that. I like him there.
Yeah, will it make a difference, or will it just be sitting comfortably on a 3-goal lead? It's gone very, very quiet in the game. Yahaya's had a chance. He's played okay. He's not looked spectacular, but he has played all right. Romoshenko puts one just wide. And a chance for a consolation. A good save from Costanzo. And the game ends at 3-0. Agat with a 9, but Dr. Kamalo playing his 60 minutes on an 8, man of the match. So, yeah, he deserves it for being the doctor.
I just thought it's one of them conundrums by the game. We've seen a hell of a lot in Super League this season so far, where you got Didier Agat on a 9 and you've got Kamalo on an 8. Is it because of the contribution before taking him off? But you've seen it with other players that have stayed on for the rest of the game, that have played far inferior to somebody else who's got an higher rating and got man of match. It's a strange thing from the engine, is that?
It's strange, but when it's Kamalo, it's totally justified. I'll accept that. Not much more to report on there. Stackington put 1 shot on target in the second half, so it was all right. We go through to Los Huracas, who are a completely unchanged side from last time out. We got some kind of like kite setup going on, maybe. How to describe that sort of setup? It's decent, and in their last match, they were beaten by 76ers, but they did have a good cup win in the end. They ended up coming through with some late goals to win their cup game. Do you fancy them for the win over Runninger?
But I mean, to be fair, it's certainly no disgrace getting beat by the 76ers. Every test run I've done in the Swedish league, there's been ourselves by me playing it, obviously, and it has been with me with other clubs, but 76ers Blues and Radaby seem to be up at the top. So for Huracas to put up a really good fight against them like that, really good, and it shows they might have a bit of bit of promise going forward to really compete, because they've got a lot of solid players in there, in amongst a couple of other players, and obviously got a lot of time for Dan after coming across him with everything that we're doing at the minute. So yeah, let's see how he goes. Let's hope he puts a bit of pressure on everybody else in the league as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's certainly very involved in the community and gets an opening goal from Walter Samuel. Remember, this team must be maintaining 5 Newcastle players on the pitch as a minimum at all times as well. So substitutes just need to take that into account if anything is needed. But yeah, with the 1-0 lead, they're sitting quite tight, not giving much away. It's a lot more black and white on the screen, which of course he'll be very happy with. 2-0 there, and Lee Bowyer gets the goal. We've had an assist from Riquelme this game so far. They're getting plenty of chances in, and coming up to half time, will they get a third? It's I was going to say no, but they had a good chance there. Yeah, very, very solid. The passing at the back from the 3 centre backs is at 100% passing from those players. It's solid. They're not being too challenged at the back, as you can see from there. And just over 2/3 of the game on the pitch, the rest of it kicking the ball out for throw-ins and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect that against a non-league side, wouldn't you? With a grubby game, kicking ball out. Mike just had quite a lot of involvement there to only be on a 7. Probably the most involved player at the team in terms of what he's had. But Walter Samuel, he was on an 8 after about 10 minutes. And I mean, looking at that, he's had an extremely good first half, well on his way to a man of match performance. And yeah, I'm sure, with it only being 2-0 at half time, knowing what the game's like, I'm sure they're going to wrap it up pretty well second half.
Yeah, I don't think you'd say that this game's looking too much in doubt, is it? And we go to 60 minutes, but the substitutes might not be needed during this game. Conditions are usually for making some changes if behind or if players aren't performing. So we'll take a check, but Dan Hazard will be pretty happy with how his side's done. And we hit the substitute time. We check this. If behind, make some changes. Shearer for Clivert if 6 or below. So everyone will just remain as they are towards the end of the game.
Well, he's only just scraped that 7, though, Clivert.
He has, yeah. Yeah, he's only just in there. I do fancy him to potentially grab a goal before the end of this game. He came into life in the last 20 minutes of the last match, and he's certainly having some chances again now. Riquelme gets the goal, assist from Baumer for 3, and Riquelme now looking like the man of the match performance, taken away from Walter Samuel. Duff's had a chance. It's convincing. They've not really put a foot wrong, this team, this game. Looking very strong.
No, and again, I think one thing, looking at the overall setup of it and the overall game, playing a non-league side, and there is 1, 2, 2, 9 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. It sort of makes you squeak a little bit for when league games come, when your players are playing that well, and you're being solid and not overly convincing and putting a non-league side away. It's it's a strange one.
Look at the shots.
Wow, Jesus.
I don't think I've seen a game with that sort of shooting before, and it's only yielded 3 goals, but wow, that goalkeeper for running must have had a spectacular game.
An 8.
It's got an 8. They've done well to get Henrik Larsson into the squad there, I noticed, there on the on the bench. But yeah, action zones. The ball in play for less than 2/3 of the game. It's an interesting, it's a bit of a strange match, this one, but the passing's been very, very good, and they have put the side away well. We head into our final game from the cup before we have the quick interval and head into Division 1. To check that one, just mention of Nedved injured for a few days, but 76ers have made a few changes to their lineup, but it's still very strong.
Yeah, is that the Marquinhos from PSV, the young Brazilian kid?
I believe so. Yeah, the young Swedish guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've obviously noticed on game, and I've just come across him. I've got him in my squad on the journeyman now. He's interesting to see how he goes. I mean, he's a lot more developed than that second season in. He's obviously had joy with him before on personal saves by putting him into something like this. So, I mean, the one thing going back just quickly back to that last game is these games might look tight, but without dissecting the squad you're playing against in the non-league, because of what you've done with the edit and the database, you're not totally aware that there will be a couple of stronger players knocking about a couple of the lower league teams due to them being Swedish and picked up. But no, a bit of struggle again. Obviously, it's been really good for him first couple of games out here, and that backward arrow is making him really defensive and really hard to break down. So
very solid when you got the runners from fullback to have Milevski there filling in. I believe it was Takanadi last game, wasn't it, doing the same job? And
which I've never really known as a
goal
as a big star, but his stats and maybe might be something I might have a go with him in future saves. But no, again, another one I fancy it to be probably the most comfortable game at night, if I'm honest, looking at his squad where he's lined up and where they've played so far.
That's it. Yeah, they're a very, very strong team. And just going back to squad numbers for this game, because there is a set of squad numbers for the Dynamo 76ers. Mike Duff at number 22. Kakava Kaladze at 23. Mark van Bommel, number 16. Okoronkwo, 24. Taribo West, number 13. Mark Kerr at 21. Okay. I do like a good squad number setup, much to a lot of other people's, I don't know. Here we go. 76ers, one of the strongest sides so far this season. Lots of changes, so anything can happen, but Yunby shouldn't cause too much trouble for them. They're having chances. Nicky Franco's put one over the bar. Kesman's had a miss, and Van Bommel's had a chance as well. You know, they're getting the shots in.
Yeah, I mean, so far though, there's quite a lot of still sixes knocking about when you know 20 minutes to game.
Very little to report from these last few minutes. Taribo West just coming into the game a little bit more. Probably not being too tested at the back, but all our build-up of how good a team this is, and they're taking it nice and casually before half-time. They've had a couple of chances, but 0-0. Yunby holding their own without pressing at all.
Well, I'd be interested if you clicked on their info to see if Jose Mourinho's manager of Yunby at the present minute. Seem to be well and truly parking the bus.
It is that kind of style, isn't it? Does he have Keith Carlson? That makes him, just even better than Jose Mourinho to be called Keith Carlson. Do like that name quite a lot. I think that's probably why they're doing so well.
So when Daniel Levy watches this stream back and he'll start doing a bit of research from Keith Carlson from nearly 20 years ago. Seen employed at Tottenham before long.
He's probably in the backroom staff already, to be honest. They are doing a decent job. We head into the second half with instruction-wise. It's looking at 2 specific substitutes, I believe, rather than anything too. Just make sure I've actually put the right thing on. Yep, we've got a few specific subs. Right. On with the show. They've had a chance and they've scored now. Kesman opens the scoring early in the second half. The team talk must have been good. Very effective at 1-0. And Kesman definitely coming to life at this point, but 60 minutes chance for subs. Milevski's just missed. And substitutes for this game, we have Rui Costa and Mark Kerr to come onto the pitch. Rui Costa for Romadal. And Kerr for Van Bommel, which then moves Rui Costa to captain the team. They are the changes there. And, the team's improved a bit.
tell you what, at 1-0 up, when you're not being overly convincing, taking somebody as solid as Mark van Bommel off for the myth that is Mark Kerr, in my opinion, it shouldn't hinder him. But I know you got preempted subs, etc. But yes, I'm a bit.
It does look a reasonably strong Kerr. Kesman puts in a goal with an assist from Rui Costa. What a change that's been to bring him on. And Marquinhos scores a penalty. Yes, it's suddenly gone from being a tentative 1-0 lead to a very convincing 3-0 with your, I believe that was your words there that did that, Steve. It's 4-0 with Milevski with the goal. And Rui Costa has been dominant. 5-0 Marquinhos. This is much more like what we expected. It's just taken the 45 minutes to get started.
No, definitely. The one thing is you're moving a defensive player out and putting Mark Kerr in. He's only had 7 touches of ball, but Andrei Milevski has absolutely dominated all 3 games that he's played so far.
Yes, yeah, he's done well. He's not too tired to say he's played 270 minutes already. And Kesman, Kesman certainly as man of the match there. That assist has done him some good, but I think Rui Costa turned the game.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, very, very good substitution. He's a very, very good player, and they were defensively solid and kept the one out that Youngby had on target as well. So he's got to be more than happy, especially with the second half.
Definitely. Looking forward into the rest of the cup. It's getting serious. They've won 2-0. They've gone through Ferton and Degerfors and Bunkerflow, which I think sounds like some kind of sanitation system. Have gone through to the next round there into the quarterfinals. Notice there's not a single team outside of the top division that's still a league side left in. All the rest were non-league teams. A rather strange thing. Anyway, so the draw will be made later on for the rest of this. If we just have a quick look into the fixtures for the league before we move into Division 1, it would really help if I press the right buttons. That's the fixtures for the league coming up. 76ers play Blues, Danglies and Athletic. That sounds like a good game. Europe away to Otis, Mr. Intrinsic Larry Pike.
Well, the problem is, although he didn't get a result first game out, he was very strong because he's using, being Leisure Suit Larry and Mr. Intrinsic himself, he's using players that are overpowered for what they are. They're probably not too overpowered for the level of players I've got. I'm not trying to put my foot in my mouth there, but they will seem to be competitive right through the season just because of the players that he's picked and how he's picked them. He's very deep into a lot of all that sort of stuff, and he's the one that introduced me to the likes of Neil Somerville, who's an absolute beast with barely no ratings whatsoever. So after beating an non-league team 3-2 and scraping it, I'm a little bit on edge, to say the least.
Yeah, he's the ultimate tracksuit manager, isn't he? He definitely knows his stuff. We're going to take a break and head into Division 1 shortly. See you soon.